So for today's video, well, you know what the title is, but it's gonna be my Dark Horse comic collection, but also like a Dark Horse appreciation type video. It sounds really stupid, but I really just want to go over how Dark Horse's pricing might even, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna call it, honestly. I'll probably call it something along the lines of why Dark Horse has the best pricing in comics. So probably be that. Um, so I do want to pull out this book first off. This is not a Dark Horse book, but out of all the books, I would say AWA Upshot has the best pricing. This is Old Haunts. I have a pretty good amount of AWA books, but every single one of their trades is always $9.99, $10, and it's your normal page length per issue, and it's issues too. Like the issues come out and the trade comes out after, obviously, but because they're all $9.99, they're all same price, and of course you don't. It's like a little itty bitty trade, obviously. It's like a hardcover or anything like that. I don't even know if they do oversized hardcovers or whatever. So if you're really, really adamant about getting an oversized hardcover, then they don't have that. That's something I don't really I understand. I don't understand. I know that you guys like to see the artwork. Super stutter there. I know you guys like to see the artwork in like oversized format, but it's not a deal breaker for me. It's kind of just like, okay, whatever. Okay, so starting off, let's do first one here, the Resident Alien Omnibus. Now this one is, I want to say like 300 plus pages, collects the first 3 volumes at least of Resident Alien, all in one softcover omnibus. The one thing I hate about my copy, and I had to look for it, that's how minuscule that right there. Yeah, that's how small the dent it is. And I got this from Newberry, actually. Actually, I don't know. Not Amazon, which is even more surprising. But this is like insane. First of all, it's a book I was skeptical about getting, and that's the best thing about Dark Horse. I'm always like, not always, but for books like this, I know nothing about, have heard nothing, have heard nobody talk about or anything, and the book told me there was a sci-fi show, and I thought it was actually the comics based off the sci-fi show, because Dark Horse does that too. They did it with Avatar. They did it with both Avatars actually. They have an Avatar, The Last Airbender comics, and they have Avatar that James Cameron. They have those comics based off that movie, and that's how little I knew about this book. Is that I thought the sci-fi series came out first, and the comics came out after. So Dark Horse is always good about, like, if you're skeptical about a book, they're always like, hey, we're going to give it to you, but at a reduced price. For the omnibuses, at least. And let's segue over onto these books, which, ironically enough, are also Resident Alien. And because they weren't coming out with the second omnibus anytime soon, I just decided to get volumes for, you can see a little dent there. 4, 5, and 6 of the series. Now, this one is... Where is it? Wow, Ellen Morley liked this one. He gave like a quote. This one's $14.99. That's about the same price as other publishers would give it. I think it's the same. Yeah, same. It's pretty thin too. And this thicker one is $17.99. So they're not perfect. It's kind of funny that their shorter volumes are the regular prices, but when you get bigger and better, they're bigger and better prices. Because this book, the Omnibus, I would say would probably be $34.99 from Marvel, maybe even $39.99, and from DC be $30. So you're already saving $5 at the very least. Maybe it would be even more. No, it'd be $30 from. I just said that. Probably even more, honestly. No, because they're coming out with and you get the soft cover. There's the second volumes of Green Lantern and the first volume of Deathstroke Incorporated. They're both going to be $29.99. They each have 7 issues. This has way more than 7 issues. So yeah, it would be cheap. Oh, no, sorry, it's 9 issues. They have the 2 future states for, future states. Something else, I think. No, is it just the first 7 issues? I gotta look it up now. So I'm gonna also look up the page count on the Resident Alien Omnibus. I know what it is for the rest. So while I'm doing nothing here and it's gonna be a bunch of dead air, to avoid any dead air, I'm gonna say that when I started out, Dark Horse was always like, oh yeah, it's Hellboy, that series that I didn't. At first, I didn't like. Obviously, now I like Hellboy. I love Hellboy, and it's one of those books that I look back on and I'm like, how did you not like that? And I think it was just because I thought it would be a lot more faster paced than it actually is. You know, even though it is, because especially towards the towards where I had to leave off on, because the library didn't have a 10th volume. That pisses me off so much. I might just get the box set. There's so much Hellboy. So the Resident Alien is 296 pages, and so Deathstroke Incorporated. And it's 3 volumes in one. And yeah, they're probably shorter like that volume was. Hell, they could all be the same size. I think they are actually. But it's still like 4 issues per, so you get 4, 6. Sorry, 4, 6. Yeah, that's how you do math. 12 issues. So you'll already get more than the Deathstroke book, I think. So, ink. All I have to do is just do that. Yeah, 29. Oh, it's a hardcover. Never mind. Never mind what I said. In the story from Batman Urban Legends 6 of like 7 issues. So, there you go. Alright, so now let's continue. This one is one that I honestly really like. I even like the third one, and no one likes the third one, apparently. And that's Fight Club 2. I know, I'm doing my reading recommendations, I'm in that mode right now. And this one was pretty pricey, too. No, it wasn't. Never mind. This one's only $30. The next one's a lot more pricey. The next one was like $39.99, I believe. I got that one at the library. So the fall. That's what happens to you stack books. But yeah, I got a lot of quotes in the back, but those aren't. Sometimes you can't trust those. I've heard in the past that you like really can't. And IGN is just IGN. What was I saying? Oh yeah, this is the third one I got at my local library, Intro Loans. I may just reread the series, honestly. I really like the series. And the build of the books are good too. Like this one is not. And it's funny because you think with a cheaper book it would be, they'd have to cut some corners, and they don't. There's no corners cut in this hardcover. It looks like it would be the exact same hardcover build and build the pages and whatever the hell that Marvel and DC would do. And this is proof that Marvel and DC could make their trades and hardcovers cheaper, but they choose not to because it's name recognition. You know, Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 1 is always going to be at least $125, which is honestly a fair price too. It's not a good example, but you get the point. It's always going to be more pricier than a Dark Horse book. I get that part, but still kind of like you could make it cheaper. So, yeah, I'm showing them all. It's kind of stupid. But the main one I wanted to show was the Dark Horse omnibuses. But let's get to these first. So these are their hardcovers. This is Lady Baltimore, the Witch Queens, and Tales from the Outerverse. These are the only 2 non-omnibus hardcovers, right? Of 3 that I have from Dark Horse. But the third one is a lot bigger. So these 2 are $24.99. And what's funny is that... So is this guy. It says 8 issues, and at least. And these have 5 issues each. And they're both the same price. They all came out around the same time. This one was pretty new. All in 2022, I want to say. Or like 1 year. At least, at the very most, what's a year apart. I think they all came out. Cause I remember I got this pretty recently, but I had waited a bit because... No, that's right too. I think it was 2021. I don't know why I'm checking to make sure. There's no point in doing it. I know it is. Alright, let's say it is. 2021. And then you get 50 pages of extra shit. At the end, they say. Like that Kieran Gillen. This is why I got it, because Grant Morrison and Kieran Gillen, 2 of my favorite comic writers, gave it good reviews. And it's Peter Milligan. It's look interesting. But again, the build of the hardcovers are really good. And yeah, these two are 144 pages. I was very skeptical to get these. I will admit that Dark Horse, sometimes their hardcovers, their pricing doesn't make any sense. Whether it be hardcover or softcover. Because that Resident Alien book I just showed you was pretty thin. It could have been $9.99 each, or $12.99 maybe even. And they wouldn't have lost like so much money, you know, it wouldn't have been like that bad, you know. I think I got them for full price too. I had to. And I know the third one, the sixth volume, I got it, and I say had to. I got in at full price. But I think they were all 1 day shipping, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong. But yeah, again, these are 144 pages each, and it's $24.99. It's kind of annoying. It's the same price as DC would do. I think actually it's cheaper than DC. I mean, sorry, more expensive than DC technically. And then, but by far their most, actually no, they're out of all the books that I have seen from Dark Horse, the price that was the best price ever, the best savings price. This is a newer book too, came out late 2021, is Nocturnal's Omnibus. This oversized hardcover that is the size, I want to say, is the size of an Absolute from DC, like your DC Absolutes, is $30. $30 for this thick of a book and this big of a book. I remember being very surprised. I think it was. Because I don't think I knew how big it was. I don't think, at least. I know I had seen your my conditions video on it, and so it piqued my interest in this book. But I don't think I had seen much of the video, because I didn't want to get anything spoiled for me. I want to go in blind. But, and also this is also going in blind and, you know, spoilers. This is all going to be spoiler free. A lot of these I haven't gotten around to reading, because I just have so much to read. About it. But anyways, so no spoilers, obviously. Could have said that. Anyways, but yeah, this is the best price. Like, this is $30 for, I want to say, like 400 pages. It's not even 400 pages, I don't think. But it's still, like, this would be $100 from DC Comics. At least. Maybe $75. But this would be super expensive. And that's the thing, like, DC and Marvel would charge you up the ass for this. And Dark Horse is like, hey, $30. Take it or leave it. And you're like, hell yeah, I'll buy it. So you don't feel like even if the book is bad, you don't feel like you've wasted money. Especially with the artwork in this book. And I hope this is a good page to open up to the artwork. You can see, yeah, there you go. It's like Alex Ross type artwork, but different enough. It's painted. That's why I said Dark Horse. It's like Dark Horse. That's why I said it's like Alex Ross. The paper quality on this is a paper quality I expected all the omnibuses to be like, but it's not. That is the one thing I don't like. And another thing you'll see. We have a zoom here. So let's get this one out first, because I think this one, the dust jacket, is better. So dust jackets. So let's do the Hellboy one first. This is not an omnibus, which I'm surprised. I'm still surprised that they didn't call this an omnibus. Why did they just call it an omnibus? I mean, it's not gonna anybody would be confused. So the dust jackets. I think I want to see the dust jackets on the Lady Baltimore is different. Is it? Or is the Hellboy one different? I don't know. But the dust jackets seem a lot flimsier on the omnibuses. So let's get out. Yeah, so it's a lot flimsier. It's a lot flimsier than you get out of a normal hardcover from like Marvel DDR, other publishers, even Image. But it's not like it's not a deal breaker, and you can still see the artwork. You can, and hell, I had to make sure the Lady Baltimore one was different. And this one seems a lot tighter. Like I'm opening the book and you see. No, seems a lot tighter than the than other publishers. Is going to be the number one word I'm going to be saying on repeat, like drinking game. Take a shot for every time I say other publishers. You'll be dead within the first 10 minutes. I want to say. Oh, already 14 minutes. I thought I said 16. I had to do that. I had to go that. I had to get that close to the iPad, which I'm filming with. Because I am blinded one eye. Not blinded one eye. Legally blinded one eye. I think it is still blinded one eye. Point is, I can't see for shit. I can't drive either. Which is why I go on Amazon all the time. Not all the time. If I wasn't so damn impatient, I'd probably be purchasing from them all the time. But I'm impatient. So this one is not the best example. Not the best example. The best example would be one coming up, but this is the Witchfinder Omnibus. It's 3 volumes in 1 hardcover for $34.99. $34.99 for this thick a book. And yeah, they're not oversized, but who cares? I don't. You can still see everything. See, everything's spaced out enough. It's not like it's no binding issues that I can see at least. It's a bit. Oh, never mind. Seems a bit weird. Here, you see that? I don't know if you can see it. But there you go. See? But that's about it. And it's not warped at all. If I try and move it, yeah. And at first, and actually, I'm glad I stacked books. Although I think putting it on a shelf like normal would get the same result. But it was very warped the first time I had gotten this book. Like, this was coming out this way a little bit, and you could tell by looking at it closely, obviously, but even from afar a little bit. Like, I was laying on my bed, and I have it at the end of my bed, so about that length, I could still see it, and it was like bent a little bit. But I stacked it. I put a bunch of books on top of it, because I buy a lot of books, and then after a while, it was perfectly fine. And so this is the Omnibus Volume 1 and Volume 2. You're also going to see that a lot of the Dark Horse books I have are from Mike Mignola. Now, this one, they did, because this is the newer hardcover, they did increase the price to $40. And so is this. This Hellboy Secret Histories is also $40. And this one is actually less pages than this guy is. But again, it's a newer book, and what I heard is that for the longest time, I think it was like 10 plus years, the Dark Horse Omnibus's hardcovers were always $34.99. They never went below or above that price point. And that's something I think DC and Marvel have done too, actually. Stuttered. They had 125 for the longest time, I think. I know DC is the pioneer in making their omnibuses $150, and now $175 for the 52 omnibus, which is dumb because it's not even that big. It's like 1,200 pages, which usually like they have a $150 book coming out that is for an omnibus that's gonna be like 1,600 pages from Marvel too, but still. That's my point. And they have in the Brightest Night and Blackest Day. No, Blackest Night Omnibus is $150 and 1,600 pages. So they definitely don't have to increase the price. But this one is 568 pages and is $34.99, along with the second volume of Baltimore. It's just such a good price. I'm sorry, but like, I said I'm sorry, but like, it's just such a good price. It's you never feel like you're getting ripped off. You never feel like you're like, oh, the paper quality isn't as good. And yeah, that is true. Like the paper quality in this book, I don't know if you can tell, but it's different than. And it's the same as the other omnibuses. The Nocturnals one and the individual volumes of Hellboy, the soft covers that I was reading, at least, the paper quality was a lot thicker, and it felt like it was like, a lot more put together than the usual soft cover would be, which made it make sense. And I said like that, which made sense why it was $17.99. First volume of Hellboy, for whatever reason, unless it's a newer printing, was $17. I got it was from local library. It was $17.99, and then they had another one that was a lot thicker. I could tell, and it was $14.99. But it might have been a newer printing. See the destruction. I don't know. I don't think it was though. And then these ones, the Harrow County omnibuses, while they are softcover, it's still $30. And I hate that this right here. You can barely see it. That little indent pissed me off for the longest time. Still kind of does. That's kind of Amazon's doing. And again, like both the books, it's the same as same as Marvel and DC would do theirs. Hell, I think it's even better, honestly. And so this one this one's also another one that's kind of bullshit. Again, they're not perfect. This 4-issue book, 4 issues inside this book, I think it's only like 107 pages. Is, let me find it first. $17.99 for 4 issues. Pretty thin book. That's even Marvel and DC wouldn't make it that expensive. And I don't think the individual issues, again, it's like 400 pages. Like, what, 100 pages? 4 issues? So it's like 23 pages each, not even. And, this one is super, 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 super thin. And yes, I only got this one, so I was gonna do a read-through for my 60 subscriber special. Never ended up doing that. I just ended up making a second channel where I do shit posts. But I didn't post it on there anymore. I don't post there anymore. I have no ideas what to do there. It was one of those things. Me and what's the name? What's his name now? Logan's Digital Media Hub. I think his name. No, Logan's Media Hub. And I had done. He did a bunch of shit posts and then never did anything after. But anyways, this thin ass book is $17.99. Yeah, I only paid $5.99, but $17.99 for a thin ass book like this. See, again, Dark Horse isn't perfect. But they make up for it by making these books $34.99 each, or $39.99 now. But still, this would be $75 from Marvel each. Should be $75, and from DC, I want to say it'd be like $60. About the same price, I don't think, for DC. And now might as well show the last two. Yeah, show them all. This one, now, this is a good example of not every Dark Horse book is a critically acclaimed smash hit. And this is technically not Dark Horse. It was Unique Studios. YOUNEEK Studios. Or Productions, or whatever the fuck it was. Now, I haven't read this one, but at first it got really good reviews on Goodreads, but then everyone, then it was because it was an earlier book, which is proof that Lady Baltimore is... Why I got Lady Baltimore is because at first it was lower, but I'm sure it'll go higher. And the individual issues are a lot higher too. But yeah, so you get the best reviews. I might get the next volume because there's only 2 volumes of these thicker books. Which is omnibus. Nope, they don't call it an omnibus. Not even on the side. Nope. But this thick ass book is $24.99. So at the end of the day, I wasn't too angry. There was I gotten it the same day, I think, even same month. I know, at least the same month. I know that for sure. It was Far Sector, and that was 12 issues for $30, and that was DC Comics. And then this one too, and this is just such good artwork. I can't wait to get into this one. This is the Victories omnibus by Michael Avon Omen, the co-creator of Powers from Brian Michael Bendis. But this guy is $29.99 and is 500 pages. Now that is a good price. And again, it wasn't the best reviewed on Goodreads, but it actually looks good. I checked the reviews, and most of them were just like, they just didn't like the way the story went, and it wasn't. They explained it, and it wasn't anything. I was like, oh no. I was like, okay, it's fine. I don't mind that. But yeah, that's my Dark Horse haul appreciation video. Why their pricing is so good, whatever the hell I'm gonna call it. Again, like this guy is $17.99. It's a pretty thin book, but this guy is much thicker and it's $30. It makes sense because this is a thick. Again, this would be like $50 from DC and $75 from Marvel. I want to say even somehow it would be more expensive than the hardcover, same price as the hardcover. From Marvel would be same price as the hardcover. Actually, no, that'd be $100 now. Actually, it would be. I know it would be. Would it be? I don't know. And again, like, so a good example is, I want to say this book is the Young Avengers Omnibus. I want to say this is 15 issues, plus like a brief preview issue. But I want to say this is also like 500 plus pages. No, I think it's like 400. But this looks a lot thinner than the Baltimore Omnibus. Here, I'll put them both together. Baltimore? Yeah. than the Baltimore omnibus. See? So, why, pray tell, does it look better on Dark Horse's side? But Dark Horse is the cheaper option. That's what I love about Dark Horse. And again, it's a Michael Mignola. It's based off of Hellboy for Witchfinder at least, but same writer as Hellboy for in the case of Baltimore. And yeah, Baltimore is also it's co-written by Christopher Golden, but that's fine, whatever. Yeah, surveys by Mike Mignola and Christopher Golden, art by Ben Steinbeck, colors by David Stewart. Cool. And the artwork is just like, and again, like the build of the book is pretty good. The one thing I do not like about the build of, I can't really tell. I can only tell right here. I probably can't even show it real good. It's a bit warped, like it's like wavy, but honestly, you can't really tell unless you're actually like feeling the book. You can't see it from here. I can kind of see it, but it's not going to affect the reading of the book. You'll still read it just fine, you know. But it's definitely not perfect, but it's near perfect pricing, and you get the most for your buck. And again, none of these except for like EXO. Hell, maybe I didn't even like EXO, but like those ones, all the Dark Horse books I've gotten, I was glad that I got, at the very least, even EXO, because they're a series that I was on for in the case of. In the case of Tales from the Outerverse and Baltimore, Lady Baltimore, they're both set in the Baltimore universe. I wanted to complete this to me. And then the Resident Alien in the last 3 volumes, in the series, all that kind of stuff. Again, none of them that I've gotten from Dark Horse I've regretted purchasing. From Marvel and DC, I've regretted it wholeheartedly. Someone will give it a bad review, and I'm like, great, the book I spent $17.99 on got a bad review. That's awesome. But a lot of these, almost not all of these, most if not all of these Dark Horse books have also gotten very good reviews worldwide. Like, everyone seems to like these books, especially Harrow County. Harrow County is like must own now. And I have all of them now. The last Tales from the Outerverse. From Harrow County, I have on the Kindle. I didn't get the individual issues because I wasn't waiting for the trade to come out in March. That was like I got it in November. A lot of waiting time. But that is it. That's it. I don't know if I'm gonna do an Image Comics one, because the only thing I would say about Image Comics is that their first volumes, for the most part, are $9.99, and that's something I've regurgitated for like days on end. Because what's kind of annoying about that is they have ongoing series that their first volume used to be $9.99, but now some keyword some are $16.99, which is stupid. They actually have one that it was like 4 issues. Yeah, they did. The Good Asian. It was $14.99 for the first volume and only 4 issues. That was bullshit. But still cheaper than Marvel, honestly. So tomorrow's video might be library haul. I don't know. I purposely haven't been putting anything in. Haven't put anything in since put the fall again. Since Thursday or Wednesday, whenever it was. I purposely didn't put anything in there because since then, because I'm thinking that the rest of the books might come in tomorrow. I don't know for sure. Probably not. But that either Tuesday or Thursday, hopefully. Then maybe a comic haul this week. I'm hoping for a comic haul this week, a Newbury haul. Hoping, knock on wood. But that, as I say, is that. And again, I feel like I should now refer you guys to cheap graphic novels, but I won't. I'm sure, like, what I might do is I might wait until, everything's over, or at least cheap graphic novels no longer does their special orders, and then order them again and see how quick they actually are, like, on average. Because that was 3 months, no, it was 2 months. 2 months of waiting for 4 books. Yeah, they're omnibuses, but still, 2 months? Stupid. So, and they're good packaging. Like, I really wish I had kept that first cut, but I was so paranoid because the little slip of paper that had my address on it fell on the iPad. It was like right here on the camera, but you couldn't even see anything. and I thought you could. Freaked out, and I think then I showed it by accident. And then I had to edit everything, and then everything blew up, like it crashed, so I lost the footage, and do it all over again. So annoying. But I'm trying to stall time. We're at 30 minutes now, so we can end the video now. And I just want to be 30 minutes. But TLDR, if you skip to the end, Dark Horse has the best pricing that I have seen from any other publisher. Period. For the most part. Again, it's not perfect, but it's near perfect. Especially when you get to omnibuses like this, 500 plus pages, $34.99. And they're never gonna do like an all in one volume. And one thing I do have to mention actually before I go is there's a Lobster Johnson omnibus that officially does not collect the first volume. It's volumes 2, 3, and 4 because chronologically that's how you're supposed to go. Wait, you're supposed to skip the first volume? That's stupid. That's the one thing I have to give Dark Horse shit for. And they could just do 1, 2, 3, and 4, like they did for Baltimore. This is 4 volumes in one. Same prices, same page number, I think it would be. And they could charge it $40. I wouldn't mind. No point in doing that for Lots Johnson omnibus. Because now I'm not going to get it. Now I'm going to wait till the second omnibus comes out. I'm not going to get something that's incomplete. I can get the first volume along with it, that's stupid. And then when the second omnibus comes out, that first volume is going to be completely useless. But, again, that, as they say, is that.